So I'm going to proceed right to the discussion of the selection of a general manager. And I think everyone knows by now we've gone through quite a process, and we did interviews of finalists this past Saturday, and people have had time to let all their thoughts settle. And I'd like to start by polling the board for their choices, their number one choice for the position of general manager. Mr. Bishop, I'll start with you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It was not an easy decision, but I want to begin by saying I'm very happy with the process. I anguished over the weekend back and forth, but I've come to this, my own mind, that I would like to nominate, if I could, Mr. Tony Mazzucco for our next town manager.
Thank you. Mr. Maloney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want to thank you and my colleagues for allowing me to play such a prominent role in the search process. It was an honor and also a joy to be involved. I want to thank also the screening committee. They did an outstanding job, having done so much due diligence. They dug down deep, conducted excellent interviews. Our consultant, Mr. Lynch, came as advertised and delivered as promised, and I hope we have the chance to work together again in some other avenue someday. We look forward to that. And of course, Ms. Peasy in her office, and probably the biggest assignment of her career, have performed admirably in support. I would be happy with any one of the three finalists, Mr. Chairman. I think if two of them withdrew this afternoon, I'd be happy with the last man standing. Mr. Hathaway is a man of a great experience and a cool way about him, and I suspect a strong ability to command respect among his subordinates. Mr. Chenard has a breathtaking understanding of municipal operations and a depth of experience, but my vote is going to go for Mr. Mazzucco because he is, I think, a rare talent, and he possesses a wisdom and a maturity and a confidence combined with humility that surpass his years on this earth. I think, as promised, he will move to this town. He will immerse himself not only in the job but in the life here in Norwood, and he will be with us for a very long time. And I look forward to working with him if my colleagues agree that he should be chosen. So my vote is for Mr. Mazzucco. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Howard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think we are so fortunate to have Mr. Lynch and Ms. Peasy putting this whole thing together for us. The screening committee coming down to the three candidates that we had to choose from, which was quite a difficult choice because they were all very good. But my vote is for Mr. Mazzucco, please.
Thank you. Mrs. Donahue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you again to those who served on the screening committee to provide us with three good candidates. And thank you to our consultant, Mr. Lynch, for doing an excellent job for the town of Norwood. To me, I had two strong choices, and each candidate I thought was exceptionally well qualified, of those two in particular. I'm going to support and vote for Antonio Mazzucco with one tiny reservation, and the reservation is I hope that we can impose on him the importance of him staying with the town of Norwood for a length of time. He's a young man. He's exceptionally qualified. I don't think anyone could ever replace Mr. John Carroll, the fabulous job that he's done for us over these past 39 years. When he came here, he was young too. and so I want to try and, I don't know if it's legal or not, put some language in the contract or something about trying to stress on him, to him, the importance of us wanting to keep him here so that we won't have to go through this process again soon. But that is my vote. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I actually personally think that the situation that we're all in sitting on this board at this time is rare, or certainly is rare in Norwood. And while it's probably not the hardest decision I've ever made, it's probably one of the most important that I've been involved in making in the last 39 years. So I had some pause of hesitation over the weekend also, considering two candidates very carefully, And yet, in the end, I came to the same decision my 4 colleagues have. I think it could be a nice breath of fresh air. I know every time I speak with them, feel younger and enthused all over again myself, and I hope that carries on through everyone that he deals with in the community, because if it does, we'll be in a very good place. So I also will cast my vote and make it unanimous for Mr. Mizuko to be offered the position of General Manager of the Town of Norwood.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Howard.
I make a motion that the chairman be asked with other people as necessary from HR to make the offer to this gentleman with the usual reservations of the physical, etc.
Second?
Anything further on that? I'll just say I will, if this passes, I'll do so, and I'll also employ services of Mr. Lynch. It's part of his contract, and he's performed so well so far. I look forward to completing that contract with him. Anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you very much.